Manchester City 2, Sheffield United 0, and in all intents and purposes, a simplistic win for Manchester City. A fairly uneventful game. I do believe they broke their possession record in this game. The only element, I suppose, if you're a City fan, that you may be ever so slightly disappointed in was the lack of goals maybe today, even though the two you scored were very, very good goals indeed, especially the second. The pass from Oscar Bob cutting through four players. Phil Foden again demonstrating how goddamn good that man is. And Alvarez pushing that ball away. And the standout player for me again was Phil Foden. And I wanted to speak about Phil Foden because he's a weird player in the sense of the lack of respect that this man gets is nothing short of shocking to me. Nothing short of shocking. 23 years of age, won the lot, been absolutely pivotal each and every single season in this Manchester City team. He has been absolutely pivotal in every single trophy they have won, whether it be the knockout stages, whether it be the league campaigns. This man has been nothing short of sensational. That is just a cast iron fact. In my personal opinion, I think in some respects he's been disrespected by Man City at times. I think he should have been given a starting berth on a more regular basis. I believe he should have been made a mainstay in this team. I really do. I believe he does more for Manchester City than the majority of their other attacking midfielders or wide players, because he covers both positions, have done in the last 4 to 5 years, barring KDB, barring Haaland. This man is up there with all of them. He is a consistent, high-level performer. On top of that, there are other great young talents in the Premier League. Whether it's Bukayo Saka, whether it's Marcus Rashford. I see so many people get they're in this conversation. Who's better? Who's better? Foden is clear. Not only when it comes to a technical debate, you could argue Foden comes out on top against the majority of young players, 23 years old and under. I know Rashford's older than that now, but Rashford's always been in that conversation with him as well. But if you look at in a technical debate, it's not wrong to say Foden beats them. When it comes to GA, assisting, scoring goals, consistently year in, year out, he delivers. When it comes to consistency, he's been at this level for the past 4 to 5 years. And on top of that, he has done it in title races, multiple FA Cup and League Cup runs, and in Champions League runs. He has done it at every single level. So when it comes to the Phil Foden conversation, this is not to say Rashford isn't very good. This isn't to say Saka isn't a top player, Martinelli isn't a top player. And whoever else you want to throw into that mix. And I've seen multiple names thrown out. I'm just using those two because they're the main two names that come out. Phil Foden ticks all 4 boxes. The only 4 boxes that you use to review players. And that is ability, sky high. Outputs, sky high. Consistency, sky high. Consistency and longevity go together, but you can't have longevity at 23. And then you look at, it's not just trophies, but pivotal role in winning trophies, and then delivering in those other areas, your ability shining through, getting those goals and assists as an attack-minded player, and having consistency within those title runs, those quarterfinals, those semi-finals, those finals. He has done it every single step of the way. He really has. And I wanted to shout Phil Foden out because I don't think City respect him enough. In the same way, for years, I didn't feel Liverpool respected Mo Salah enough. They liked him, they praised him, but it was always 2, 3, 4, 5 others that were spoken about ahead of him, whether it was Trent, whether it was Van Dijk, whether it was Mane, Firmino, Henderson as the captain. I always sat there and thought, Mo Salah's your best. Now, I don't necessarily think that Phil Foden is Man City's best player. However, I just don't ever think he gets the respect that he deserves from City fans, from rivals, and certainly not the media. This Phil Foden is absolutely tip-top class. He really is in every single capacity. And the fact that he has delivered it during title runs and everything else I've already mentioned, it makes what he delivers worth more. Absolutely worth more. He is sensational. On City today, there isn't much to say. 82, 83% of the possession. A simplistic, easy win. There's not much about the game to say, other than anybody that thought they were finished, anybody that has written them off for their chance of winning the Premier League, you're a nutter. Now, you might think Liverpool will win it. You might think Arsenal will win it. And that's a fair point. But writing Man City off is one of the craziest things you could do. Just look at the way they controlled the game today. They barely got out of first gear. They won an absolute canter. And they put themselves, as you can see in the Premier League table right now, they were sitting second whilst the Villa were drawing. They got a very, very late penalty in that game, Villa. It looks as though they are just about going to pick up all 3 points, and they needed that. It could have been 3 games on the bounce that win. So City find themselves sitting in third place, but they have that game in hand. If they win the game in hand, they very least go second. Depends what Liverpool do on Monday night. But City are just where they want to be. They're where they want to be going into the second half of the season, where they atypically get stronger. Liverpool, Arsenal, Villa have all got to go out in the January transfer window and purchase and buy to beat them. As much as I've praised Liverpool a lot this year, as much as I've praised Arsenal this year, as much as Villa have kind of joined this mix, and they're all dangerous and scary teams. The scariest of all is Manchester City. And this idea they're finished and that people just said, no chance this year. I find it strange. Hella strange. I really, really do. Terry, this twisted is after you all the time. What, Twisted Bubba? Yeah, he has been for years. Terry, another player U-turn. No, I've praised Phil Foden a lot. You know, I've never said he's overrated. I've never said he's rubbish. Go back some streams a couple of years ago. What I've just said about him, when people ask, is he better than Saka? Is he better than this young player? I've always said Phil Foden's the top of the pile. Maybe not in a particular moment when it comes to form, but the reason why I put Phil Foden above those individuals is because when he is delivered. And I'm true to my principles as best as I can be. Because I believe, for instance, Rooney's goals, although he does have more, but although he doesn't have more of them than, say, Harry Kane, because Rooney did it in multiple title-winning seasons, multiple in Champions League seasons where he went to multiple finals and won one, because he's won so many trophies and he's done it in those gilt-edged moments, those really tough games, and Harry Kane in the Premier League didn't, I think Rooney's goals are worth more because they've been done in more difficult circumstances, and pressured circumstances. So, yeah, there's no player U-turn at all. I've always stated that about Phil Foden. That is why I'm shouting him out again. So, another guy that tries to catch me out every show, but you're not going to be able to, because the one thing I don't do is lie. When I change my mind about something, I'm very open about it, and I say, I've changed my mind, like a normal human being does. But yes, City today absolutely built different. The way they performed, what they delivered. Just looking at some of these statistics from the game, 82% possession. I've read somewhere they made nearly 1,000 passes today. Nearly 1,000. Is that true? What I'm reading? Passes here, yeah. 994 passes made in the game. 938 of them were accurate. They had a 94 pass completion rate today. That is actually sickening. And I mean that with all due respect. That is absolutely sickening. There we go. We've got Hamza and V that are going to come on now and have their say on this game with us and give us a little chat. Boys, welcome back to the terrace. Hamza, an easy win, but a very dominant win today for your boys.
Yeah, absolutely impressive win. They needed this, especially after the last couple of games before that Everton win. We dropped points this season, silly. But this is exactly where we wanted to do. I think their performance was absolutely mature. The key thing was about keeping the clean sheet, because we've not kept a clean sheet for a long time. And I think we've done well. I think we today showed our impressive performance. We keep the ball, and we've got the most passes. Like today, yeah, exactly what you're saying, 1,000 passes, and some players stepped up. I have to praise once again, the English generational player that I've called by Phil Foden, who everyone compares. So impressive when he plays in the middle of the park, left, right. It's just unfortunate that Phil Foden has always played amongst the greatest players like Bernardo Silva and KDB. So it's hard to stand out because these guys will be one of the greatest players of all time. Where if he does play with players like, let's say, for example, Shaka and Odegaard and all he will stand out, obviously, because he's way above them. But when you're playing with KDB and Xavi, Iniesta, those kind of players it's so hard to step up. You don't get praised until later on. And that's why
I agree with you. Look at Cole Palmer at Chelsea.
Yep.
He looked better at Chelsea than he maybe looked at City, but it's because he was surrounded by so much more quality. This is why I've had this argument for years about Man United. When people go, yeah, but was Scholes really that important for you? As important for you as he was for Gerrard with Liverpool? Yes. The difference was Scholes had other players around him that were equally of that standard, so he didn't protrude as much because he was part of a group that were of that level, as opposed to maybe one standout individual. So you don't notice them as much. And I do think that Hamza, that even City fans have got to spend more time praising Phil Foden, in my opinion, because it's the fan praise and the fan accolades that help elevate your legacy. And if you guys don't do it, there'll come a point where you might want to, but it's a little bit too late. You guys have got to put a lot more love into this kid because he's absolutely top class. He really is.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't think City fans criticize him. We expected more from him this season because KDB was injured. It's the rivals that's been putting him down a lot, like say comparing with the like of Saka and other players, which sometimes what happens is it causes like issues of now we have this kind of fan base now of a player will be compared. KDB, as soon as a player comes along, KDB versus Bruno, then it was KDB versus Odegaard. Then it was they always try and take City player. It has to be a City player that's compared. But to me, talent-wise, for you to play for Pep Guardiola, let me repeat again, for you to play for Pep Guardiola, who's managed Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, Philipp Lahm, all these top players at Messi, they expect for him to have thought, I need to keep this guy, I need to play him. It shows you the elite. And England are very lucky. And I've always said 2 generational talents that they have, Bellingham and Foden. If England can utilize them both together, they're dangerous. And today, City showed a mature performance, defensive performance. Rodri again. How many games do we praise this guy? Like Rodri, another performance of fantastic. He controlled the midfield by himself. Like impressive performance. This is where we wanted to be at, Terry, because Arsenal are top of the league on 26th of December, and now the Elephants 4th, and now pressure's on them. They're now panicking. You're now telling me they need to go to the market, or they've spent so much money that there's no way we'll accept. How can they go to the market again? Like again, you need to go to the market. A team that's supposed to go to the market is us because we don't have a squad depth. If they go to the market again, I'm thinking, you spent 700 million again. You can't, literally. This is a weak City side. Calm down, play the game with the players that you have, and let's see how it happens. Like, why would you want to spend again? Like, people are saying Liverpool weak. Liverpool got big squad. Arsenal got big squad. Like, if they're going to spend, then I need to go to the market as well. I need to go deep into the market and get 3 or 4 players. If Arsenal get 1, we need to get 3 or 4 minimum because our bench is weak. That's the problem. And we're very lucky that we keep utilizing the same squad. We've been playing the same 11. I'm so glad it's the FA Cup and we got Huddersfield Town. And then 2 weeks away, now we can rest Rodri, we can rest Foden, because I don't think Huddersfield Town should scare us. I don't think so. So I expect Oscar Bob and Hamilton to do the job.
To go back to what you were saying, I think the comparison with Foden was unjust. It was unfair because the time when rivals went after him was when he had an injured ankle and the appendicitis. Like that's when they all came off mute and they wanted to talk about it. Before that, it was clear. It was Foden. Another thing too with regards to the performance, he's looking and he's seeing, you know what? It's my time to step up. There's really no excuse. I'm healthy. Let me do my thing. And when Foden's done his thing, he's clearly miles better. You can see the talent there. And it's been unfairly just to criticize him and question where's his best position? What does he mean to the team? Like you said, Professor, he's surrounded by KDB, Bernardo Silva, at the time Mahrez, at the time even, Sterling, and there's quality amongst the club. So it's hard for him to really have a stamped position because Pep himself will rotate them. One thing that I want to point out in this game today, I'm still kind of, what are we going to do when we have games controlled like this, but Rodri is still on the pitch? Like in games like this, when, Sheffield United, respect to them, but we had the game kind of like in control, but Pep still had him on that pitch, not giving him that break. So that's a little concerning for me. I don't know if we need to go into the market, but when you have Liverpool, when you have Arsenal, and they're looking and they're like, we have to strike when the iron's hot. We need to go now. If they're going to go to the market, then I kind of agree. If we're going to continue to have the strength, we should look to do the same thing.
And you're right about Terry. I was going to say that Rodri part. And people don't understand. Like, he played the whole Premier League games, hardly got any rested, played the whole Champions League game, hardly got rested, played the Spanish in Spain for the World Cup, didn't get rested, came back, went to UEFA Nations League, didn't get rested, came back, Super Cup he played, and then the guy's at 70 games he's played, and then now he's back. He's even said, I'm tired. It takes one moment. Now we have to be and City fans are we are very complacent. We've been very complacent, but we are very lucky, Terry. Liverpool and Arsenal are not that strong. Liverpool can drop points. Arsenal can, but we shouldn't have drew to Palace and Tottenham that's weak, and Chelsea will 4-3 up.
Professor, we shouldn't even be second right now.
The league.
We shouldn't be second right now when you really think about it. Like, look at how we've been performing. We were only able to win
2-7. Why shouldn't the best team in the world be expected to at least be second in the Premier League?
Because we weren't playing like the best in the world, Terry. We were winning. We only won 2-7. Our form was poor.
3-8 now.
Right? Like,
well, you're not actually second. You're third. Villa are second.
Fair. Exactly. So exactly. We're third right now, and we just moved up from fourth. But for us to be here, showing the poor form that we had, it's crazy.
Worst City side in the last 5 years.
Now we're getting healthy again. I know a lot of the fans were kind of excited for that moment. Maybe it was going to be the 80th minute when KDB was going to touch the pitch and remind us of how he can spray those passes. But we're getting healthy again. We had no Holland. We still have no Doku. Stones is out. Like when we've got everyone back and Pep can do his roulette and now pick who he wants to start with. It's scary. It's scary. So I'm glad we are where we are, because we've had these injuries, we've had inconsistencies, we had suspensions with Rodri, but we're 2 points off. Hey, this is the second half of the season now.
The thing is, but you've always been, even during that little tough period, you were still the favourites to win the league. Let's not rewrite history. At no point with any of the bookmakers, at no point with the bookmakers and no point with many fans, rivals included, did you not remain the favourites. So I do think I do think you're trying to paint an underdog story that doesn't exist. You are the best team in the world. Yes, you've got less points at this stage than most other seasons, but that's also because there are multiple other teams that are performing really well this year. So therefore, if you'd have had a Villa team, a Spurs team, a Liverpool team, and an Arsenal team as good as they are now during the Centurion season, it wouldn't have been a Centurion season. You'd have still won the league, I think, but you might have won it with 85, 90 points because those teams would have been able to take more points off you as an example. So that's why you've got less points. This idea, okay, and I'm praising you here, this idea that woe is me, we've had injuries, we are where we are, we shouldn't be expected to even be third in the league at this point, I think is crazy talk, bruv. You are the best team in the world.
Terry.
With 3, 4, 5 injuries, I still expect you to be right up there at the top of the league. Come on, mate.
Okay, that's high praise from you, and I respect this season. Past seasons, you didn't have City as favorites. This season, you have City as favorites.
I had you as favorites last year.
You had us as favorite. Oh, the way you spoke, I thought Arsenal were your favorite.
No, so last, in fairness, let me be very truthful. Beginning of the season, I predicted Liverpool to win it. Okay, like last season, a ball wasn't kicked. Okay, then after like 5 to 10 games, I predicted you would win the league, and it was only then when Arsenal were 8 points clear, I said I think Arsenal might do it now. But if that makes sense, that was because they were 8 points clear.
I got
this season, you were my pick to do a 4P at the beginning of the season. Nothing has changed. I've not, there's some titles of the videos that say, are they going to be title winners or they will be? But that's based on what other people have said. Especially I realize my straight facts videos, the titles are based. I message everyone who's coming on the show beforehand and I say, what do you want to say? What's your point on these subjects? And based on their points on the subjects, we title the video. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I remember last season. I remember last season you also asking City fans, should we be scared or should the league be scared of Arsenal? So I get how you kind of ask things and you move the show. But this season in particular, Terry, it's not about woe is me. It's not about underdog story. It's about going into another season, having won a three-peat. And you know this. It's difficult after winning a three-peat, after winning a treble, and then trying to get these players motivated, and then having a suspension for Rodri throughout the year. To have also had, I would have never expected Haaland to be out as long as he has. To not have KDB. KDB hasn't kicked the ball, I think, since August. So it's that when you put that in perspective, I'm like, we're 2 points off, and I've had these players out.
And the thing is about Terry, like it's not because you find us favorites. You don't trust them, Arsenal, because last time they let you down. When you were praising them before, and you thought they did a remontada against Bournemouth, and they did that comeback, and they were doing this comeback against Villa, when you were saying on your channel, oh, they seem that they're playing so it's unstoppable. You got let down so bad that you don't trust them anymore. And you've seen what City have done today.
It's one bitten, twice shy.
That's not it. That isn't
it.
Are you
sure, Terry? It's not once bitten, twice shy. Now you're just like, eh.
No, I predicted you to win the league this year because I think you're the best team in the world. And the only reason it would change is if there was, for instance, during that 6-game period, say Liverpool had won all 6 matches in that period and we're 9 points ahead of you. Maybe I'd say, no, I think Liverpool might do it now. My mind would change. But it only changed last year because of the gap that Arsenal had over you. And I didn't envisage a moment where they would throw away so many leads in the run-in. So I predicted them from that point. But the point is, Man United, you're right. We've done 2 3-peats in the Prem. And on the year 4, we didn't win it. But we came 2nd or 3rd in those seasons. This notion that you shouldn't even be expected to be 3rd, but just because you go for a 4P is ridiculous.
Terry, we're giving our oppositions quality talent. Look at what Cole Palmer did today. We're making the league tougher for ourselves by giving away very good serial winners.
Stop it now. Listen, like I said to you before, look, people keep saying Terry's been twerking for Arsenal. No, I praise Arsenal, but I haven't once said this season that I think they'll win the Premier League. You all, again, a lot of you don't hear that because you don't listen to what's being said. You're just angry and fearful that because Arsenal are getting better and you have cognitive dissonance. That's what happens. City, if I say City are the best team in the world, of course I'm going to predict them to win the Premier League. It would be ridiculous they're the best team in the world and not have them down as your pick to win it. And some will say that's a lazy, easy prediction, but it is. The reason I picked Liverpool at the beginning of last season, I felt with the way they missed out on it last year, the season prior, on the final day, I thought that would spur them on to another level.
Oh, and the failed quad season. That one.
Yes.
Hey, I just want to say one thing. It's like what's happened to us this season is like, imagine when you had that great team, you lost Paul Scholes, who's our Ganda one. Paul Scholes our Ganda one. You lost Giggs, which is our Mahrez, and then you lost Yap Stam. You'll be a calamity. And then you never had Nicky Bat to replace with Roy Keane. And Roy Keane played every single game.
Again,
and you're giving rivals your talent.
Again. I do believe that you haven't done well in the window, and I believe that there's an element of your squad that is weaker than it was last year. So that's another reason why I think you're going to get less points. But let me go back to what I've said, and you haven't negated this with a single point yet. I am not shocked that you're in the top fucking 4. That is, you being in the top 4 should, oh my God, City, best team in the world, are in the top 4. What's going on here, boys? You are where you should be at a bare minimum when you're as good as you are, when you have one of the greatest managers of all time and one of the greatest squads ever assembled in English football history. Come on, boys. Stop playing Disney stories here
Terry,
and overplaying it. Come on now.
No, but Terry, the only reason, the thing you're missing the point on, I just want to stress this. With our form, though, with how you saw us play, and for us to be this close,
I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. Usain Bolt at his peak, he was so much faster than everybody else. He was winning those Olympic titles. He was winning those world titles.
Yeah.
By a distance. And in 100-meter sprinting, that was a country mile.
When he jumped onto the scene, he was crushing it. No one was close. Yes.
Yeah. Towards the end of his career, barring his final race where his hamstring went, he was still winning those titles.
Yeah.
But he didn't have that big a gap. He was slowing down.
Yeah.
And although he was slowing down, that didn't stop him from being one of the fastest teams in the world. So yes, you guys may not be as good as you were last year, but that doesn't remove how good you still are. So this idea that so yes, your form wasn't so great, but you have not fallen off so far, coupled with bad form, that it's a miracle that you're sitting in 3rd place halfway through the season.
Terry,
Terry,
listen, it's not about 3rd. Listen, it's not about 3rd or 4th. It's 2 points off. This is what I want to emphasize.
I don't understand, but you are so much better than everybody else. Yes, you've gone back a little bit, but you dropping back by 10 points in a season on average, say 15 points maybe, just means you're nearer to everybody else. You still shouldn't be shocked to be up near the top. If for instance,
2 points off, that's what's shocking.
No, it shouldn't be. Your brains are gone. Your heads are gone. If for instance, in these last 5-6 years, you were only ever 1 or 2 points ahead of 3 or 4 different teams, and then you had a season like this and went backwards, and you were still only a point off, I'd go, yeah. But you, generally speaking, have been exponentially better than everybody else for 7 years. To regress slightly, and let's just say it's regression from you plus a bit of improvement from others, to go, I can't believe we're only a handful of points off the top. Is a nonsense.
No, you're gassing it. You're gassing it. Terry, when you talk about
hang on a minute. I'm gassing City.
You are.
Hang on a minute. Are you right now as it stands? Do you still believe you're the best team in the world?
Yes, I do.
So I'm gassing you for saying you should come on.
No, you're gassing the past. You're gassing the past. This is what you're saying.
No, I'm gassing now.
No, but you also said we were exponentially better in the past. We took 2 seasons winning it by 1 point. So we haven't been clear.
You're taking what I'm saying out of context, right? I'm talking about the people you're running with right now. Yeah. Liverpool were there, but the Villas and the Tottenhams and the Man United, we're not there right now. And the Arsenals, they weren't anywhere near you. This is the first season you've had since Pep's been here where there's 3, 4, 5 teams who can stay close to you points wise. You've never been through that. You've never been through that.
It's not that. We were being chased by one. Listen, Liverpool were that great. Liverpool chased us all the way to 99. They were not making mistakes. They were not losing games. We had to win all our games. We had to take it to the last game of the season because Klopp is that special. Klopp is not just an ordinary manager.
I know, guys. I know Klopp is special. That's completely.
Manager.
Klopp being special is completely irrelevant to the point. You guys have gone backward a little bit this year. Other teams have improved.
It's not a little bit, Terry.
But you sit in. Well, it is a little bit. It is a little bit.
40%. We're 40% down. We're halfway nearly. We're like our quality has gone down by 40. We lost.
Okay, so you say you're 40%. Let's just look at that. Let's just look at that. Okay.
Why are you looking at that?
Hang on. Last year, your treble season, 19 games into your season last year, you had 42 points. This year, after 19 games, you've got 40 points. You're 2 points worse off. Okay, that's not a reduction of 40 fucking %. What are you talking about? 40% reduction.
The quality of the players we've lost, is major. Gundogan was major.
You haven't gone back 40%. You have not gone back 40%. You're 2 points worse off. This weird lie that you guys have come on here with, that you got, I can't believe we're in the top 4. I can't believe
let me ask you, Terry, one question.
I can't believe this poor, depleted, You sort
No,
of
Terry,
Let me
malnourished
ask you
team
a question.
doing
Let me
so
ask
well.
you a
What am I
question.
listening
Let me ask-
to?
Okay. Would you take Oscar Bob over Man United's bench?
Yes.
You take him.
Have you seen who's on my bench?
I've seen your bench is good. You got Antony. So you take Oscar Bob over Antony.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Are you telling me? Hang on, Hamza. Are you telling me you would swap Oscar Bob for Man United Anthony right now?
He's a young
No.
kid.
Answer my
I'm not
question.
saying he's
You
not.
answer.
He's young.
Answer, Hamza. Answer my question, Professor. Would you swap Oscar Bob for Anthony at Man United?
I'm not taking your rivals anyway, so it doesn't matter.
So why you
I'm saying
got to go at me to say?
Anthony's a quality Brazilian player that starts internationally.
You are shameless. You are shameless. You're so shameless to have to come out of the hiding, bro.
You don't value your players.
Hamza,
KJ, show
Hamza.
your face. We can't listen to you right now. You gotta show your face.
Listen. What do you mean you can't listen? You'll listen to me when I'm flipping one, bro. All right, you hush your mouth and listen up. You guys are being sissy boys, bro. That's what you guys are being, sissy boys. Oh no, our squad is small. Oh no, look, we're so close to the top when we shouldn't be, bro. You should always be the top. You could have your academy players out there, and you should be on top of the league. Why? Because you are the best team in the world. You're the best team in England, and you have the best. You have the second greatest manager of all time as your coach. So all this sub story, all this look at this, look at that, look, it don't matter. Yes, you've had adversity, but guess what? So many other teams this season have had more adversity than you. So how can you guys even think about crying and saying, look at what we're doing, it's amazing?
Because I say this. Because we got, how can I be 2 points from the table with Oscar Bob on the bench, Sassuolo on the bench?
Because you're good.
Because you're the best team. Because you are the best team. How? Because you're the best team in the goddamn world, Hamza. I don't understand what you're shocked about. Let's do some of these super chats here. How is company still employed? It's a good question. We'll chat about that on Monday night. Repeat after me. City versus Villa in the title race. They did very well to get that win today. Villa did. Rodri has one less goal than Nunes in the Premier League this season, which isn't good enough for Rodri. I expect more. Foden's 23. His time will come. At the moment, it's about KDB and Silva. Thank you, Zane. The obsession with these fans have with us rent-free. Thank you, bro. The Premier League not ready for KDB to feed Doku, Haaland, Foden. Them four are going to be dangerous. Foden been our best player this season, playing in mid. Okay. Terry, the fact is Arsenal fans are saying they are better than last season. However, with City having bad form, yet are at the same position with Arsenal. I hear you on that. How much money does Arteta need to spend to win? Well, again, how much money has Pep spent?
No, but 700 million. You've not even won major trophy.
How much money has Pep spent in 7 years?
Other than the FA Cup,
answer my question. What's the total? Not net spend, because net spend's not real. How much money have you spent on players since?
I think
what, $1 billion?
1 billion.
1.5 billion? Over $1 billion.
Wait, his first 7 years? I don't think he spent $1 billion his first 7 years.
He must have spent £1 billion. Must have spent $1 billion. No. I'm going to guess £1 billion. If I'm a little bit, it might be a little more, might be a little bit less. Point is, this is not defending Arteta. All managers over 4, 5, 6 years need to spend anywhere between 700 million to $1 billion to win in the Premier League. If you don't, you ain't winning the damn thing.
You know what? And the answer to that question is as well, how much does he need to spend? As much as it takes. Because guess what? He ain't as good as Pep. He ain't as good as Pep. Yeah. He's not as good.
Listen, and Pep spent that money and killed it. Look, we've got to go in a minute because we have a game sign. But Sard, what are you here to say, bro?
Listen, this is the shamelessness, if that's even a word, of City fans. Yeah, this is what City fans do. They are so trying to be this victim mentality. They're trying to be, I'm in the words of Hamza, little Simba. You know, I'm the little guy. Listen, look at me, man. I've won everything there is to win, and then now I'm losing players. I've lost players left, right, and center. Although I've got even my squad right now, majority of them were Ballon d'Or nominees, but it's fine. Yeah, I'm the little guy here, man. How can I be in top 4? How can I be in top 4 right now when I'm having such a crap season, bro? This is what I say towards your bad form. Yeah, you guys always start off slow. Always. It always happens to you guys. You always start slow. You end up going crazy in the second half of the season. Nobody really takes the start of the season for you guys as something to measure and stick what you're going to do in the season. Nobody takes it to what you're going to do in the rest of the season.
Liverpool
When
got
the
it.
second half of the season comes, that's when City really turn on and say, you know what? This is when we go. This is when our season starts.
No.
January onwards, this is when our season starts. We're gonna go on a
But you
winning
said we
run
don't
now.
have Gundogan this year.
For 15 games, however much it is, 20 games, whatever it is, the run that you lot go on, yeah. So I don't take anything. This is why I've never since this season started, even though City have had this bad form, I've never said that City are not favourites for this title.
Of course you wouldn't.
The title race either. I've heard people say taking City out the title race. Oh, City might fall off this year. Oh, they might not win it this year.
Nobody wants the Heat. That's why That's why everyone says City's the favorite.
And the players that they still have, although you might have lost a few players, the players that you still have in your squad are still able to win this league. Are still able to win this league.
Yeah, of course. And they know it as well. Boys, look, the other game is about to start. I want to thank you, Professor Hamza. I want to thank you, V. Of course, Sard and KJ jumping on as well. Love the stream. Love the challenge. Love the debate as always, gents. All the super chatters, you're amazing. To everyone who tuned in, thank you. Please hit the like button before you go. And we'll see you at full time after Forest play Manchester United. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you again soon.